Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to focus on our glute phase. We're going to start off in all four positions, work into your gluteus maximus and then finishing with a gluteus medius. So we're going to start off in all four positions, just working on the hands and knees. Knees are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. Start ourselves off. From here then, we're going to extend the right leg back, toes pointed, nice deep breath in, exhale, quietly lift the hip height. You're trying to squeeze that glute area and coming back down, nice control. So working control on the way up and on the way down in this phase. Trying to keep that leg nice and lengthened. Control on the way up, on the way down. So we're slowly going down, working the muscle, working into the glutes as we come up and squeeze, but still working through the hamstring as well as we come down and up with that lengthened leg. Try flow through these movements as best we can this morning. But if you feel you need a recovery, just take that recovery and then come back in. So from here now, as you bring that leg back down, we're going to bend the knee in towards the body. Through that inhale phase, exhale, trying to keep that leg at 90 degrees roughly. Push and heel or the sole of the foot up towards the roof. Again, slowly bring it in and pushing out away. So again, keeping that leg at 90 degrees, working through that hamstring as we push that leg up towards the roof. We're still trying to squeeze through that glute max area. Release and recover as that knee comes back in. Pushing away, coming back in. And just take your time as we flow through this as best we can. Hands and legs nice and stable in that lengthened position. One more here. Then from here, it's going to stretch out that leg. From here, it's going to do a little bit of pulsing so that leg comes down and up. Keeping the toes off the ground, just pulsing down, pulsing up. That leg staying nice and straight. Still getting that squeeze as we rise. That leg up to about hip height, coming back down. Keep the tension on that side. That's 3, 2, and 1. As we come back, it's going to gently recover and do a child's pose. Takes pressure off the wrist joint, off the body, and also just letting that side of the glute stretch out that we just worked for a couple of seconds. And if we're ready, we're going to come back up into that, move into our opposite leg. So again, coming back in with that lengthened position, and again, rising and then recover. Again, we're trying to focus now on that opposite side, squeezing on the lift, recover, coming back down. Toes pointed, squeeze and recover. Again, we're trying to control the way up, control the way down, just try and flow through as best we can. Keep your hips nice and stable, the middle section of the body nice and stable. You can gently try and brace the core as we lift as well to help keep that middle part of the body nice and secure. We're not trying to push too far and bring the hips up. Hips are staying nice and square. As you come back down, we're going to bend the knee in towards the body, heel then out towards the roof. Keep that leg bent at 90 degrees as we come in, pushing out away through. Come in, pushing away through. So the feet coming up, trying to maintain that 90 degree bend roughly in the leg as best we can. As we come in and pushing away. Squeeze at the top, come in, pushing away. Good. One more time. And then we're going to try and do that lengthen phase as you come down and drive. So again, we're trying to pulse a wee bit on that leg. Hips still nice and square. Down and up and squeeze. Down and up and squeeze. That's 3, 2, and 1. And again, coming back just for recovery. Taking the tension again off. The wrist joints, but again, just in. You sit back into the hips, you get a stretch around that glute area. And just let it recover for a second. And as we come back up, from there we turn to our side lying position here. So as we turn to our side lying position, we're just again making sure we're right in the setup. Hips are nice and square, knees and ankle, and again our lower leg here can be bent at 90 degrees if we want, or we can keep the legs long if you want to make this a little bit harder. We're working again through the gluteus medius area and the outside of the hip muscles now. I'm going to try to flow through 3 movements here, but again if you need that recovery, take that recovery and come back in. So we start off with our side leg lift. Nice deep breath in, exhale on the rise, inhale coming back down. So again, hips are staying nice and square as we lift, flowing back down again. Rise and recover. What we're looking to do is target this side of the hip outside here. So if your hips are collapsed behind each other, you might feel more pressure on the front of the thigh here on the lip. You want to make sure the hips are nice and stacked and square. We're feeling it around the abductors, the hip muscles and those gluteus medius muscles in here is being targeted as well. So from here, I was going to pause at the top point if you can. As I breathe in, I'm going to bring my heel towards my glute, so I'm bending my knee back, exhale, then bring that leg back out and put the pressure back on. So the recovery phase is bringing that heel in towards the glute. Exhale phase is pushing it out again in that strong position. Upper leg is nice and stable. Try and keep that nice and still, keeping this part nice and square, still on step with the lower leg as we go out, and then take our time with that lower part of the leg as well. If it feels too much on that fully lengthened phase, you can go by just halfway. You don't have to stretch that leg back out again. But as we slowly bring it out, you'll feel that movement, then you'll feel that side of the hip working. You can even add a pause at full extension to make it a little bit more challenging on the body if we want. Last couple of reps here, as we go out and in. And then as you go out here, we're going to keep that pause position nice and high and work little circles with the foot now. Trying to control that movement if we can. So we're trying here to work circles and nice and slow, nice control. Try not to go fast and use momentum. We're trying to use that muscle all the way around. The bigger the circle, the harder it will be. But again, just trying to nice and slow, working from this hip joint, entire leg movement. Lower leg is nice and stable. Change the direction of your circle, going that other way. Nice and steady, working through. Almost there, keeping it going. Last couple of seconds. 3, 2, and 1. As you rest, you can give it a tap out if you want. Cover that side. Second time, we're going to just gently flow to your other side here. Just ease yourself out to finish that sequence off. Again, as we turn to the other side, sometimes this side will get tired quicker now because this side's already been worked, but if you need that recovery, take that recovery and come back in. Again, we just set up in our square position with the hips, everything nice and stacked. Make sure we're nice and set as you go into your side leg lift again. Come back down. Again, if it feels too much, bend that leg back at 90 degrees as long as the knees are staying nice and in line. This will be a little bit easier at the bottom leg back at 90 degrees because it just stabilizes your hips a bit better than keeping the two legs longer. It's going to be a little bit harder for your body to stabilize itself. But again, it depends where you are. You can always recover that leg on the way down if you want. Take a recovery and come back in if you do want to keep it up all the way. Depends where your hip strength is. Just go to where you find that is comfortable with. Last couple of reps here in the first phase. Let's bring that leg up nice and high. Good. Pause. Breathe in now as bring that knee, heel in towards the body. Exhale, bringing it back up. So again, trying to keep the top area nice and stable. So keep the knees roughly in line. Nice and square forward with the hips. And then we bring that heel back in for that recovery, so it takes less pressure off it, pushing it back on then if you can. If it feels too much, you don't have to go out all the way. Just going as far as you find comfortable as you push out and in. Again, last couple of reps here as you go back out, come back in. As you go back out, I'm going to pause, going to work through that circle phase now if you can on that side. Again, the bigger the circle, the harder it will be, but again, nice and slow, nice and control. We're just trying to work into that hip joint, working through that side. Almost there, just trying to keep that going as best you can. From here, we'll change direction, flowing the other way. Almost there, trying to keep that going. Almost there, last 3, 2, 1. As we come back down, just tap and recover. So we bring our back gently on the mat here. I'll do a quick stretch on those hips and glutes if you're feeling them tight. In that lying position, the feet are on the ground, right leg across the left knee. We'll just pause there if you find that stretch. We'll hold that stretch for a second, the body get used to it. And then if you want to deepen it, we'll lift that left foot up and in to deepen that side. Okay, just holding that stretch for a couple of seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. We'll cover that leg back on the ground or on the mat. We'll gently switch over then, that left leg across the right foot. And again, as you're there, you'll feel that stretch on the outside of the hip area. It's going to hold for a second or two, let the body get adjusted. If that's enough for you, just hold that stretch there. And if you want to deepen it now, lift the right leg up and in. You can hold the right leg for support if you want. Holding at that stretch for a couple of seconds just to take away the tension. 3, 2, and 1. Release. And then legs lengthen, recover the hips, cover the body. If you want to do that stretch again, if you find it more beneficial or hold a little bit longer, you can, but that is our glute session.